The Champions League final is on the horizon, and Chelsea fans would really love to see their manager Thomas Tuchel to come up with a sound strategy to defeat Manchester City. Are the Blues ready for the new English champions? Harry Kane has won the Premier League Golden Boot, but is it the last we've seen of the striker in Tottenham colours? Achraf Hakimi is eager to stay at Inter Milan, despite being linked with a move away. Aguero played his last league game for Manchester City and made sure to break a record in the process. So, all the top 5 leagues have finished for this season, and we've got a lot to discuss about who won the league and a bit of transfer news as well. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon, since the upcoming week promises to be a highly intriguing one. Aguero signs off in style. He might be at the end of the road at Manchester City, but Sergio Aguero once again showed just how difficult he'll be to replace at the Etihad. The legendary Argentine has been the cornerstone of everything good the club has achieved in the last 10-odd years. His goals have guided the team to multiple league titles, and he might end his career at the club with his first Champions League title. On the last day of the campaign, City took on Everton, and it was really not surprising to see Aguero start on the bench. Pep Guardiola is clearly not going to give him much of a look in during the Champions League final, so the 32-year-old made sure that he would reach another milestone once he was brought into action. After his introduction in the 65th minute of the game, Aguero scored 2 goals, and in doing so, broke Wayne Rooney's record of scoring the most Premier League goals for a single club. Aguero now has 184 goals to his name, and we're certain that he will remain City's all-time record goalscorer for a very long time. His latest record is unlikely to be broken anytime soon, since the closest person to beating his record is Harry Kane, whose future at Tottenham is under a cloud. All we can say to Aguero is, thank you for the excellent memories. Juventus eyeing Dutch star. According to Calciomercato, Juventus are still keeping an eye on Memphis Depay, who's been in stellar form once again for Olympique Lyonnais. The Dutchman has also been linked to the move to Barcelona, provided the Catalonians don't sack Ronald Koeman. However, the Bianconeri are equally interested, since they are unlikely to sign striker Alvaro Morata on a permanent basis from Atletico Madrid. Allegri to return to football management. According to multiple sources, former AC Milan and Juventus manager Massimiliano Allegri is in pole position to replace Zinedine Zidane as Real Madrid boss for next season. The Frenchman is likely to resign from his post following the conclusion of the 2020-21 campaign, where Los Blancos were unable to retain their league crown. Allegri hasn't been in football management since resigning from Juventus a few years ago, and is seen as a much safer option than former player Raul Gonzalez, who's currently working for the Castilla. Italian Serie A concludes. The Italian Serie A 2020-21 campaign concluded at the weekend, with Inter Milan already crowned champions a few weeks ago. However, there were some interesting plot twists on the cards, with the likes of AC Milan, Juventus, Atalanta and Napoli all vying for a Champions League spot. After defeating Atalanta 1-0, Milan ensured their return to the top-tier competition after quite the hiatus. Napoli had a great chance to secure the 4th spot, but Rino Gattuso's men were held by Verona to a 1-1 draw, which allowed Juventus to make the final spot their own, following a 4-1 win over Bologna. The season could be Gattuso's last as a Napoli manager, with the legendary midfielder considered one of many options for Juventus, who might let go of Andrea Pirlo despite backing him a lot in front of the media. But the most important thing in all this is that AC Milan have finally returned to the Champions League. The competition does seem a bit boring without one of its most successful sides in it, and you can expect the Rossoneri will do quite well in Europe next season. PSG relinquish the Championnat. For many years, Paris Saint-Germain have dominated French Ligue 1 without being given much resistance. There was a slight blip when AS Monaco won the title, but since then, they've continued making the Ligue 1 crown their own. This time around though, Lille managed to hold on to the top spot and took advantage of PSG's inconsistent displays. Mauricio Pochettino's men did lose a few games that they shouldn't have, but then again, sometimes the margins can be extremely tight. Les Dogs, on the other hand, were very consistent throughout the campaign, and Christophe Galtier would be the most excited man in France. The last time Lille won the title was when Eden Hazard was one of their most promising players. Since then, the team has suffered quite a bit. The upcoming summer transfer window could prove to be a really testing one for the team from the northernmost of France. The likes of Mike Maignan, Renato Sanchez and Jonathan David have been linked with moves away, along with Galtier, so this could be yet another transition period that the Mastiffs will be looking at. In 2020, Lille allowed Loic Remy to leave for free, sold Gabriel to Arsenal and Victor Osimhen to Napoli. However, they still ended up wresting the title away from PSG. Who can bet against this side? Leicester wither away again. It was so disappointing to see Leicester City being unable to take advantage of Chelsea's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Aston Villa. Ahead of the final day of the Premier League, Brendan Rodgers' men were supposed to beat Tottenham and hope for Villa to do them a favour. Dean Smith's side did exactly that, but sadly, the Foxes lost the plot and gave a rather horrendous account of themselves in the last 20 minutes of the game. It's really sad to see Leicester consigned to another campaign in the Europa League, especially when they were in the top 4 for more than 200 days. Something's definitely not right. The Foxes lost their Champions League spot on the last day of the previous campaign as well. The theme was pretty much the same. They struggled in their remaining few games and they shot themselves in the foot. While the 2020-21 campaign should still be considered a successful one since they won the FA Cup, Leicester can and must do better and should learn to hold on to the top 4 spot. Perhaps it's because their squad doesn't have enough depth to sustain such a lofty position. Nonetheless, Brendan Rodgers has a huge task on his hands if he wants his team to play in the Champions League every season. Kane wins the Golden Boot. At the expense of Leicester City, Harry Kane was able to score his 23rd goal of the campaign, thus ensuring his 3rd ever Premier League Golden Ball. With Spurs trailing 1-0 and needing inspiration, Kane fired an equaliser via a powerful volley that passed through the legs of home goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. Kane has passed the 20-goal mark in the Premier League for the 5th time in the last 7 years, though the first time since the 2017-18 campaign. His 3rd Golden Boot means that he has the same number of awards as the legendary Alan Shearer. The duo are only surpassed by Arsenal legend Thierry Henry. However, we're certain that Kane will not be very excited about the award, since the 27-year-old has already made it clear that he prioritises team trophies over individual awards. The England international might even put in a transfer request this summer, with the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City eager to snap him up. United are reportedly willing to offer Kane a huge salary in order to convince him into moving to Old Trafford. However, City's successful campaign might convince the Englishman into moving to the blue side of Manchester. Are Chelsea strong enough for Manchester City? Thomas Tuchel has caused quite a transformation at Chelsea that few would have expected when he first arrived at Stamford Bridge. The first order of the day was to restore confidence in a dressing room where the mood was far too grim for a side that had invested so heavily in the transfer market in the previous window. Indeed, Chelsea's new signings were expected to start hitting form quickly. Frank Lampard appeared out of his depth, and we all thought that Tuchel would be focused on guiding the team back to a position where they can finish inside the top 4. But over the span of 3 months, Tuchel has beaten the likes of Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Real Madrid and even Manchester City. They're in the top 4, they played the FA Cup final, which they lost, another League Cup final which they also lost, and now they have a Champions League final against Manchester City to look forward to. Who thought that this team would morph into such a giant so soon? Under Tuchel, Chelsea's defensive record has been great. They've managed to keep 18 clean sheets and they've conceded just 14 goals in 27 games. Even if they don't give you a lot of high-scoring games, Chelsea's ability to shut out the likes of Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, City and Liverpool makes this defence look really mean. They've done well against good sides, and the fact that they've ended the season in the top 4 shows just how good they've become. They had a really difficult run at the tail end of the campaign, but managed to hold their own. With a difficult set of games leading up to the Champions League final, the Blues have done a really great job, and they shouldn't be treated lightly. During the league win over Manchester City, Chelsea showed just how threatening they can be on the counter. While they might not be a ball possession side like City, the Londoners' ability to transition from defence to offence in the blink of an eye means that the likes of Cancelo, Zinchenko, Ruben Dias and John Stones will have to be on their toes. And how can you ignore the importance of their midfield engine, N'Golo Kante? The Frenchman might not be the most glamorous of players, and you might not see him get a lot of media attention, but his presence is so crucial to everything this team does. The midfielder is always busy, whether it's shoring up the defence or looking to break up play or adding himself as another body during the offensive. Without him, Chelsea are likely to struggle. In the Champions League final, we expect Kante to play a big role for Tuchel's side, which would include nullifying the threat of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan and linking up with the likes of Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. To put it simply, Chelsea have been in excellent form for the past 3 months. They might head into the final as the underdogs, but considering them as an easy opponent would prove to be a huge mistake. Who do you think is going to be the most important player for Chelsea during the Champions League final? Let us know your pick in the comments, and remember to subscribe as we look to further cover both the Champions League and the Europa League finals in our upcoming videos.